You are listening to Claret Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live. Hello, welcome to the Claret Blue podcast. I'm joined by a familiar face to the Villa fan community, the YouTube community, Max Stokes. Max, hi mate, it's been a while since we've had a chat on a pod.
It has, mate. I'm buzzing to be on. Thank you very much for having me. I'm all good.
Yeah, good stuff. As the eagle-eyed viewers will see on YouTube and Facebook, Max will be muting himself every so often because he's at his parents' house and having a bathroom done. So there's some drilling and banging and all sorts.
Yeah, not much I can do about that one. So if you do hear the occasional bang, that's what that is.
Yeah, we'll soldier on as we go through. I've got 21 questions that we've had submitted on Twitter, the YouTube community tab, some personal ones, some Villa ones, obviously. I'm going to go through them in a random order. I don't know whether you can see the same tabs I have, but there's 21 little images to my right-hand side that I'm quickly trying to scan through where to start. Let's go with departures first. Jack Holt says, what departures do you foresee in the summer?
I think there's obvious ones, isn't there? I think I'm probably talking Sanson, the fact that he's not featured in the last couple of weeks. He's injured quite often, which could be a telltale sign. Just doesn't seem to feature. That's a fairly obvious one. It just hasn't happened for him, unfortunately. Bertrand Traore as well. Just Deadwood, really, isn't it? I mean, okay, there's potential. They had a really good season last year, but Deadwood, we need to be better than that. The obvious ones as well, out on loan, Trezeguet, El Ghazi, these sorts of players. And then, to be honest, I think there might be a couple of surprise ones that people don't really expect. Potentially members of the first team squad that, I don't know, we need to generate money for. I haven't seen many people say this, but I could see potentially Consa going, to be honest, which is a bit of a left field shout. But yeah, I think there's your Deadwood, and then there might be a couple of surprise ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, I ended up saying Consa in a roundabout way of we did kind of cancelable opinions a few weeks ago, Villa opinions that we would get cancelled for. And I said that if you were to end up selling one centre-back, a lot of people go, Tara Mings, he's rubbish, get rid of him. I wouldn't be surprised if you only ended up selling one centre-back, that it is Consa, because he's probably worth more and you reinvest that back into the squad. And as it stands in the last week or so, he's not starting ahead of Chambers anyway. So yeah, that's maybe not as rogue a shout as you might first think. I said these was going to be in a random order, but I'm going to try and keep it semi-structured. So we'll go to another departure. From Nathan Melvin, I think this was on YouTube. Should Leon Bailey be sold?
When I saw that we were first linked with him, over about a year ago, I was so excited because you've seen the YouTube show reels of him in Germany scoring absolute screamers. He's electric. His pace was the biggest attribute that we were, told about. His pace is outrageous. I've got my German exchange partner who I've known for years is a Leverkusen fan, and he was saying, yeah, on his day, he's incredible, but he's very inconsistent, which I know you get with wingers, but it's just unfortunate, isn't it? We just haven't seen it, apart from that unbelievable goal and that night against Everton. We just haven't seen it, and I get that's down to injuries and things like that. But even when he's got his opportunity recently, Wolves didn't happen, Leicester away didn't really happen for him, and we were all there's the dream. We were all there against Norwich on Saturday, where that really didn't happen for him, and again it looks like he's injured. So I don't know whether you sell him or you just see what happens in pre-season, see if he can stay fit and take it from there. But I probably wouldn't sell him just because we've spent such a ridiculous amount of money on him, and you're just definitely not going to get anywhere near that based on what's happened this season. So I'd probably see what happens in pre-season and give him another run out next year. And if it doesn't go well, again, you've got to think about it.
Underrated moment, this one's called. Doing a Villa sent this one. I think this one was Twitter. Most underrated moment of the season so far. Is that going to be a game situation? Is it going to be an underrated goal you can think of? You're on mute, by the way, in case you hadn't clocked. Oh, he has clocked it. Is there anything you can think of as underrated?
It's been a very up and down season, hasn't it? So I'm not sure anything comes to me off the top of my head. Obviously, you've got the well-known big moments, the winning away at Man United, the Everton win at home were fantastic. I don't think there's many underrated ones. I think Jacob Ramsey's season, that's probably not underrated either. Just little things like that that you can look at and say, okay, it hasn't been the best season in the world. It's a fairly nothing season looking back on it, but there's little highlights and things you can take away from it, little positives and things like that. But underrated is one you might have to come back to me on that one. I'll have a little think throughout the podcast. We might have to come back to it.
DJ says, how tall is Max? Apparently he's deceptively tall, so I'd like an actual measurement, please. Do you know how tall you are?
I do know how tall I am. I'll come back to that. I don't know if anyone saw my tweet I put out yesterday because somebody tweeted about, they saw Owen, who's on the videos as well. If anyone doesn't know, who's a similar height to me, they saw him out and about and they were like, "Whoa, he's deceptively tall as well." I went on a stadium tour this morning and Mick Dale knew who I was, the legendary guy who does the Legends tour. He's a legend, isn't he? Even he was like, "You're deceptively tall." Like everybody mentions it when they say it's in real life. They say, "Oh, you're really, really tall," and we're all tall as well. Everyone who's in like the Villa on Tour group, we're all over 6 foot. So I can reveal I'm 6'3". I don't know what.
Are you actually? No, you're not, are you?
Yeah. Why? What were you thinking?
I've obviously met you a few times, but there was a picture of us when I started working here. I think it was probably around October, November. I was doing some film outside Villa Park and we had a photo together. And I seem to remember in that photo. Yeah. Oh, have you grown since then? You are quite young, aren't you, I suppose. Yeah, you might have grown since then. In my head, I always think that you're taller, but we're fairly close. I'm 5'10", so I thought you might just be 6 foot.
Nah. See, this is where the deceptiveness comes from. I'm 6'3".
Yeah, I would never have said 6'3". You must have grown. I mean, you probably would have grown in the last 3 years, to be fair.
True. When you see me again, you can get an official record and we'll put that on social media and let people see that. Yeah, whenever anyone asks, I'll say 6'3".
Richard says, even though Max started Villa on tour and is the main man, does he think he is Villa on tour or the others, Ginger, Jamie, Simon, Owen, etc.? Does he count them as part of it, or are they like guests coming on? Which I thought was an interesting question. Really, is Villa on tour is the brand, or is that you personally?
I think you can look at it both ways. I think it wouldn't be the same without them, 100%. Because if you have vloggers on their own, it can be okay. It's another football vlog. But I think what makes ours quite unique is the fact that we're all good mates. We're genuinely good mates, and everyone's good on camera, and everyone's up for a laugh and things like that. So in terms of the hard graft, it's me filming, editing, doing all that sort of stuff behind the scenes. But when we're out and about and stuff, we're a group, and they definitely make it what it is. So top lads.
There's a question here live from Dean who says, should Finn Azaz be sent out on loan to a championship team next season after impressing at Newport? And I've mentioned that one because we had a similar question. Artline 820 who said, should Cameron Archer, Keenan Davis, Lou Barry, Finn Azaz and Kane Kessler-Hayden be pushing for first team football next season or do another year out on loan? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players mentioned there. You can answer that in any which way you like. Do you think... I mean, some of those will be in the first team contention, I would have thought, and others will go out on loan. What's your take on the next gen of Villa? Let's say that's the question.
I'll definitely say it's exciting. I can't claim to have watched anything below the Championship much this year, so I haven't watched much of Finn Azaz at Newport. But was it Young Player of the Year or League Two Player of the Year in general? I think it was
League
Young
Two Player of the Year, I think.
Was it?
I don't know. Let me Google it.
Okay, you do that while I fill. I don't know. It's definitely very exciting. I think if you're a young player like he is and he's getting these awards in League Two, there's definitely talent there. And like we saw with Kessler-Hayden, he had his loan in League Two, clearly impressed, and he went to League One. So I don't know. I think Keenan Davis, if Forest go up, I think I'd be more than happy to sell him for a decent fee. Probably if you're touching 10 million, I'd snap your hand off of that. Cameron Archer, I think, is very, very exciting. I think the way he's gone to Preston and pretty much torn it up there. He scored goal after goal. His finishing is outrageous. It seems like every other week there's a new clip of him on Twitter and Villa fans going mad at him scoring an unbelievable goal at Preston. But I don't know if I'd have him around the first team picture. I'd definitely have him around the first team picture, but would you get enough game times as much as I'd like? Whether there'd be a surprise departure in terms of up front, Danny Ings or Ollie Watkins, I'm not sure. But I'd like to see more of him. If he gets another Championship loan, I'd be happy with that as well. Definitely wouldn't be looking to offload him. Kessler-Hayden, I wouldn't be surprised if he was around the first team picture as well next year. I think we don't have an obvious backup choice behind Matty Cash. I know we've got Bogard and players like that, but I definitely think Kessler-Hayden's probably your top choice behind Matty Cash. So I don't know. That's something for Gerrard to think about. Do you keep him around the squad or do you get him more football? Who was there any other ones? A couple of Louis Barry as well. He's doing well actually, isn't he? In
he is.
Scoring a few goals. So I don't know. I'd like to see the majority of these youngsters potentially get another loan or two, and then come back and see what the crack is in the first team. But I don't know. It depends, doesn't it, with each individual situation? But it's exciting either way.
Yeah, it depends on pre-season as well. You mentioned Cameron Archer was probably the biggest star of those ones who maybe got the biggest chance of having a first team impact in the squad. But if you get to the January transfer window and he's made 3 sub appearances or something, then you loan him out for the second half. I don't imagine that's the way of doing things.
Yeah.
Question here from Hidden Villain. He says, you can only sign one. Coutinho on a permanent deal or Tammy Abraham? Who are you choosing? And we're not linked to Tammy Abraham, I don't think, but that was a nice hypothetical question that I enjoyed.
That's a very, very good question.
It's hard, that is.
That is
well,
hard.
Actually, is it?
Okay, you've clearly got a name. I think I know what you're thinking. But again, can't claim to have watched loads of Serie A this season, but from what I've seen, Tammy Abraham is doing really well at Roma. I'm trying to think, what do we need more? Do we need that attacking midfielder, that world-class attacking midfielder, or a striker? I'd probably go with Coutinho, to be honest. Although I love. Oh, he disagreed there. I love Tammy Abraham. I love what he did. Very, very good player. Very young as well. I think people forget how young he is. I don't know. I'm doubting myself now. Just because Coutinho's turning, 30 in the summer? Abraham, I'm not sure off the top of my head, 23, 24, something like that. Okay, I'll put my neck on the line. I'll go with Tammy Abraham. But that's a tough one. That is a tough question.
Well, you've got Buendia, who can replace Coutinho, who's not getting minutes.
Okay, you've got Watkins and Ings as well, though.
Yeah, but they're struggling, though, aren't they? Well, not struggling, but they've not maybe done what they should have done. Yeah, but I suppose over the course of the season, if Coutinho we're right off topic here. Coutinho plays every single game on top form at number 10. How many assists will he get? Same question for Buendia. If they just flip positions, if Buendia played every single game, how many assists would he get? And then compare those strikers who would score the most goals if they played every single game.
Yeah, I see the point you're making, actually. I just on top form, Coutinho is a level above Buendia. I don't think Abraham is a level above Watkins or Ings.
Really?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen. Oh, you scared me a bit there. No, I haven't seen Tammy Abraham in the Premier League. He had it. Oh, to be fair, he did well at Chelsea, didn't he? I think people forget that he did well at Chelsea under Lampard. Okay.
I think over the course of a full season, I think Tammy Abraham would score more goals than Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins. Coutinho and Buendia is a bit of more of a flip of a coin. I think they both played to the best of their ability every single game. I think Coutinho still edges Buendia, but Tammy Abraham in that scenario is far better than Ings and Watkins, especially Ings, who's going to be 30 in a few weeks. I
think Coutinho does more than edge Buendia if they're both at top form. But I just don't think that Coutinho would be at top form for the whole of the season, as we've already seen. I think he goes missing. Whereas Buendia, don't know.
Yeah, I don't think nobody plays for their full capacity all season. There's going to be periods where they drop into a lull. It's a hypothetical question because we won't be signing Tammy Abraham, I would have thought. So we'll move on. We'll stick with Coutinho, though, from Holly, who says, does Coutinho offer us enough to warrant his high wages? If his form does drop next season after signing him this summer, we end up with a 29, 30-year-old on the highest wage we've possibly ever paid.
I'm going to name drop and say that I met him today. I met Coutinho today. I just thought I'd name drop him there. I don't know. I think after the Norwich game, if anyone watched my video, I did a little review at the end. And Coutinho started to, not grind on me, but he started to frustrate me. Okay, when he's, the Southampton 4-0 game, when he's at top form, and the start of the Tottenham game as well, he could have easily got 3 assists there. When he's on that sort of form, he's world class, and we haven't got anybody like that in the Villa squad. But that Leicester away game, the Norwich game, just wasn't quite there, was he? And he really can go missing.
Is some of that just the fact that Villa are a struggling side, though, a side that's going to finish 13th or something? If Coutinho was playing for Arsenal getting into the top 4 or West Ham this season, would we be looking at a different player just because of his environment?
Yeah, that's true, actually. I think if Coutinho was in the Villa side of last season when we were at top form, we were 5th at Christmas last season.
So instead of Barkley.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a different story. I mean, none of us will know, but yeah, it's a good point. I don't know. Like you said, I think we've got Buendia. We've got that play there. And if Coutinho is going to warrant £33 million, which is a snip, it's just his wages, which are outrageous. It just worries me about stunting Buendia, who is getting 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And when he came on against Norwich, instantly involved and like he could create and score. And if he gets a run of 90 minutes every week, who knows the Buendia we could see. But it's a really, really tough one. I think I'd like to see how the rest of the season pans out to then make a decision on Coutinho. But it's a massive, massive decision. But some of the things he does is incredible. I just think it worries me that he goes missing.
Yeah, I know there's another couple of Coutinho questions later, so we'll leave it for a little bit and come back. Villa Park redevelopment from Adam Hewitt. He says on the redevelopment of Villa Park, would you prefer a bowl type stadium or keeping it as 4 individual stands? I can already tell. I can just saw your face and the little window down the bottom, scrunching your nose up. No one wants a bowl, do they?
No, I'm very much a traditionalist when it comes to stadiums. Like, for example, Leicester, Southampton, copy and paste, change the colour of the seats. It just lacks character massively. I love the tradition of Villa Park, just little things like stained glass windows and just little historical bits. And I just think go for something unique in terms of it. Okay, yeah, fill the corners in, but don't do Southampton, Leicester. Just don't do any of that. Just make it unique and make it our own. I'm really excited about the redevelopment of the North Stand. I'd quite like to move there if possible, if I could, because I can't really see much from where I sit in the upper hole. I mean, it's brilliant having that vantage point and stuff, but I think it's very far away. And yeah, the atmosphere is class, but that's a different story. But no, I'm excited about the North Stand, and I'm excited to see the plans as well. Can't wait to see them.
I was just going to make a joke there about eyesight, just so I can get a nice segue into this question from Pat. Who has the better glasses, me or Villa on tour? You do look, there's a lot of Pat's profile pictures like a cartoon, and you look very similar. It could be you, yeah. Do you ever get that?
The same glasses as well. They're probably the same glasses, just circles, aren't they?
This is the thing. I included this as kind of like a jokey question. I'm not a glasses wearer. I'm not a glasses connoisseur. To me, they look identical. So I'm going to say 50-50. I've got no preference.
Okay, I'll take that. You've never seen me and Pat on the same podcast, so we might be the same person. Although I did meet him for the first time, actually, a couple of weeks ago in the Windsor in Birmingham. Top lads. But yeah, you'll never see us in the same place.
Yeah. Another question about your video background. What is the town in that black and white wallpaper in the background of a lot of your videos? And I had to go back and find a screen grab of this to put up. So there it is. There's also it's a terrible screenshot. I do apologise. Cut out Stephen Gerrard, which questions about that. But what is that background?
I don't know. That room used to be my sister's, and that was the wallpaper there. And it's never been changed because I think it's okay. And I don't know. If anybody does know, let us know. But I couldn't tell you.
Tell me more about that Gerrard cutout. Where on earth did you get that from?
Amazon. Absolutely.
Why?
Well, I wouldn't say funny.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about new signings. Piers Noble, who's your number one preferred option for us to sign in the summer in the following positions? You don't have to answer all 4 if you can't think of any. Centre half, DM, central midfield, and striker.
Priority is defensive midfield and another midfielder. For me, I think we need 2 midfielders. But your priority has got to be that number 6. Is it Kamara, the one from Marseille? I keep saying I don't watch this, that, and the other. I don't watch enough European football. And I think when we're linked with a player like that, people on social media like to act like they've watched him all season. But I don't know. It's interesting. I think you've got to go for that sort of mobile number 6 who can pick up the ball and carry it, who is also defensively minded, which I think you're missing out on, like someone like Louise. But someone who's more probably technically gifted than Nakamba, sort of like a mix and match of 2 that you kind of take that level up.
Yeah, agreed.
I think, and you've got to get a number 8 in as well. I think if you offload potentially, obviously Sanson for me is out the door. You've got to replace them. Ramsey's had a brilliant season. McGinn is okay, can be inconsistent, but I think there's nobody on the bench there realistically who can come on and be that proper number 8. So I think a number 8, number 6 for me. Can't give you too many names. And then a centre back as well. Actually, I would quite like a centre back. If Conser leaves, you're looking for that top quality level centre back that could potentially go there next to Mings. Don't know if Chambers would potentially be a starter. I'm not sure. If you want to take Villa to that next level, I'm not sure. I think he's a brilliant squad player, really, really is, and I think he's done really well in the last few weeks. But I'm not sure he's right up there. Yeah, I think that's it really. I think going forward, we've got talent. It's just getting the best out of them for me.
You could argue we need a centre half to replace Courtney Hall, even if it wasn't a starter. If you still had Mings, Chambers, and Conser as your 3, and then somebody else. If one of those centre halves goes, you certainly need one to come in and be a starter. The midfield is the obvious one, isn't it? I think Timmy Rabunum, does that change plans slightly? I know he's only had 1 start, but he's now in and amongst that first team squad. I mean, he might have a loan next season, but would that change your thinking at all? Not that we don't need to sign a DM, but there's someone else now that you can select.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think it changes, what the recruitment, importance would be in the summer, but I think he's definitely a great option. I was really impressed with him at the weekend. I don't think he looks out of place. I think, okay, he gave the ball away a couple of times, but it's only natural. Like
Who
I said.
doesn't?
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't think he looks out of place, and he's still very, very young. So I'd probably start him on Saturday as well. I didn't do anything wrong. Give him a bit of game time, bit of confidence. But yeah, it's just great to have another option, isn't it? Nakamba, Tim, and potentially another number 6. It just fills it out a little bit more.
Yeah, so midfield options would be McGinn, Ramsey, Irabunum, Nakamba. That's 4. And then a new DM and a new number 8. That's who you'd be selecting from. So no Louise, no Sanson. And that's it, I think, from
I think
current
that's
players.
It, yeah.
Travelling to games, Michael Pearson, he says your job was hindered somewhat with the travel before COVID. Have you been able to find the balance between work and doing Villa on tour? He also said thanks for all you do.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got a job in the sort of middle of lockdown, sort of September 2020 time, and that was like when it was like fully behind closed doors. So it was difficult to sort of, because it's Villa on tour, we were all about going to games, travelling to away games, getting up at silly o'clock, etc. So it was difficult, and that's why there was a sort of pause in the channel. But yeah, there is a good mix there, to be fair. I brought the channel back, it's going better than ever. So yeah, it's great to have a Monday to Friday job and then switch off at the weekends and get up at 5:30 to go to Burnley on Saturday.
Is that what time you go? 5:30?
I don't know actually. I think the coach is at 7:30. The coach is at 7:30, so 6:30.
Question from Kieran Conway. He says, if you could bring back any previous player to improve the current squad, who would you pick?
The best player that I've ever seen in terms of going to matches is Benteke.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah, there were Jack. It's those two that are the best I've seen. I just think, given the ball, he'll put it in the back of the net. Put the ball in the box, cross it, whatever. Feet, heads, penalties, whatever. Put it into the box, and Benteke will put it in. I just think we've missed that a little bit this season. Just Watkins has frustrated me a little bit. I think, yeah, he's got a decent number of goals now, but just the Leicester away springs to mind where he got the ball and it just kind of bounced off his knees and just couldn't quite get it under. It just hasn't quite happened. You're the obvious ones you've got, like Gareth Barry, just exactly what we need. Defensive midfielders, move the ball on. But I'd go Benteke, get 20 goals.
James Phelan, would you sign Coutinho if it meant the sale of Buendia had to happen, as Gerald has said that they can't play together?
Today I went to Bodgemore Heath and watched the players train as part of a Luke event. And Gary McAllister was doing like the intro, saying hello to everyone, and a bloke in the audience crowd said, "Oh, start Buendia," which I thought was a little bit weird, but fair enough to him. And McAllister said, "Oh, that means dropping Coutinho." Like, so why can't they play together? Surely, I don't know. I'd quite like to see it. Bailey's out now. He looks like he's going to be out for a couple of weeks at least, maybe for the rest of the season. Try it, Buendia. Maybe start him on the right hand side. I think you discussed it in the post match videos and after Norwich, like how do they all fit in? But Coutinho in the 10, Buendia out wide.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's doable, isn't it? I think it's doable, and I'd like to see it. Both extremely creative. Maybe not, it doesn't hit you with pace, but neither does Bailey at the moment, and neither does Villa as a whole. So I don't know. I'd like to see it, and I'm dodging the question here, but record signing Buendia. I'd probably keep him. So I'd say no to Coutinho and put all my faith in Buendia and the people around him, partly because of the money and what we've already seen already.
Yeah, I think the realistic answer from that question is that the purchase of Coutinho wouldn't mean the sale of Buendia, but it certainly creates that conversation of how do you fit two players of a similar position in the side. But yeah, you're right, Buendia off the right, Coutinho in the 10. It's who plays off the left-hand side if you are playing with wingers effectively. I know Buendia's not a winger, but if someone on the right, someone's got to play on the left for balance. Is that Ollie Watkins playing off the left? Is it Bertrand Traore coming off the left out of nowhere? Like it's a different problem in itself, doesn't it? So,
or Buendia is an 8.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ramsey, Irabun, and Buendia was a 3 or something like that, maybe.
I'd like to see Gerrard try that towards the end of it. Just try something different. We've got nothing to lose. We've not been firing whatever we've been doing in the last few months. So just try and see how it goes.
It's Concept Kits. Who was this? Paul Henson. I recently saw a couple of fans liking a Claret Blue quartered shirt. Real big clubs, in quotes, don't let shirt manufacturers dictate. For example, have you ever seen Celtic, Liverpool or Man United in stripes? Feel like, Claret body, blue sleeves.
I do love a football shirt. I've got pretty much,
Yeah,
well,
you've
I'd
got a
say
big
probably about,
collection.
I do have a big collection. Favorite kit? I like the away. I think it's 96 to 97, 96 to 98, something like that. I think
The
it's the
blue
one
one.
with the blue sort of top half, claret ring, and then white at the bottom.
Yeah,
That's one
Colin
of my,
Moore blue. I think
yeah,
I've pictured in that.
yeah, that's one of my favourite ones. Obviously the Luke Owen one, but that one is one that everybody raves about, and that's got claret sleeves.
Mm.
But I don't know. I think shirts. When you're thinking back to shirts, I think you just base it on success. Obviously, if we'd come 15th in that Luke season, would everyone be raving about the kit? Don't know. I
Mm.
mean, don't get me wrong, lovely kit, but would everyone be going as mad about it if we came 15th in the championship? I don't know, but
Yeah.
it is a beauty, and I love concept kits as well. I love kit season, things like that. So can't wait for it. Who've we got? It's Castor, isn't it, next season?
Castor is, yeah, it's still kind of saying rumoured to be Castor at this stage, but
Okay,
it
not
seems to
confirmed.
be that them. Yeah, it's not confirmed, but there's no smoke without fire. It sounds like it'll be them. And to be
Okay.
fair, some of their stuff is all right. The Wolves and Newcastle stuff's decent.
It's
I think the
expensive.
training stuff is supposed to, yeah, expensive.
When we
Yeah.
went to the Newcastle shop before we played them away, they had like these Castor jackets which just looked like standard jackets, not 180 quid or something
Mm,
outrageous. So I don't look
yeah.
forward to that. But as long as they're better quality than the Kappa ones.
Talking about spending, Charlie says, how much money do you think you've spent on away days throughout the years? Have you ever totaled it up?
Good to think. I don't
Yeah.
know. If we break it down, I think I'm over 21 now, so I'm into for the majority of away games. I'm into the adult £30 bracket, which
Mm,
isn't ideal. But you've got £30 match ticket there, coach anywhere between 15 and 25, and then all the other things, food, drinks, etc. So I dread to think, to be honest, but I don't
100
know.
quid, 100 quid in a away game, maybe? As an average, something like that? A bit
Maybe a
less?
little bit less. Yeah, it depends. So it's probably you're talking at least a couple of thousand a season, but I don't know. It's an expensive hobby, but it's one of the best hobbies. I'll put it that way.
Following up from that, then, Carl says, anyone coming to Perth for Villa Man United? Is that a bit out the reach, or are you off to Australia in the summer?
Someone has to pay for it. So it's a very very expensive trip. I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to. That'd be like once in a lifetime sort of thing. But I think I might give that one a miss. I think Villa said that they do a European one when they get back. I think it's the week before the season starts. So hopefully I'll do a European one. But I just think Australia is probably a little bit too far for me.
Yeah. I couldn't. To be fair, a lot of people say, you talk about Grealish a lot, blah blah blah. Give it a rest now. All these questions have been fan submitted, and there's two Grealish related ones, so let's get those out of the way now. Hypothetical, and I called him a cheeky scamp on Twitter for sending this. Carl Palmer. Hypothetically, Jack Grealish is available for 70 million in the summer. Do you go in for him?
No,
No. Too
no,
much,
that's
too
not it.
expensive, doesn't fit. Why?
Yes, the money aspect. I think 70 is a lot. I think for me to say yes, you're probably talking 40. And I know that's unrealistic, but I'm not that bothered. I don't want him. He's at Man City now. Yes, he'd be good, etc. But we've got Buendia. I'd rather get Coutinho. I don't know. I'm starting something now. I don't know. My simple answer is no. My simple answer is no. I think that ship has sailed. I'm over it. I don't hate him anymore. I've moved on. No.
Emi Buendia is a better player / has the potential to be a better player than Jack Grealish. Discuss.
Again, simple answer. I'll probably say no. I think what is he? A couple of years younger than Jack, 2 or 3. I don't know. I just think okay, Jack was doing it probably at Buendia's age in the Championship, and I don't know. I just don't really see it. I just think when Jack was on the ball, he was just extremely unique. One of the best players I've seen in the Villa shirt. Just think he had that swagger, didn't he, Jack? I just thought he was something unique. The way he carried the ball. Okay, he probably didn't score as many goals as he wouldn't have liked, but wasn't really his game. Just I don't know. I'd probably say no, but I hope he does. I hope Wendy has the potential to be as good as Jack because we've got a serious player on our hands. But
Yeah.
I'd probably say probably not.
Buendia is actually only a year younger than Jack. I did
Oh
think he was
really?
more. I thought he'd be 2 or 3. To be fair, Buendia's birthday is also on Christmas Day, so fun fact for you
Yeah.
there. Neville's overlap. Who's this? Keelan. Why is no Villa fan being on Gary Neville's overlap show with all the other fan channels on that? Have you ever been invited to that? Is my question. It's
The
probably the
only
biggest
the first time
Villa
I
community one.
the first time I'd heard of the whole overlap thing was the Gerrard interview recently. I didn't even know
Really?
there
You've
was
not heard of
fan.
it before that?
No, I didn't even know
Bloody
there was
hell.
fan channels that. Oh, was that the thing? when him and Carragher are like doing the presentation there at the front? Have you got all the fan channels?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah, right, okay.
But no, I haven't been invited. I'd love to, but yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, it'd be nice. A lot of talk on that is about Man United and Liverpool, so you'd probably it's one of those things that you probably get invited to tick the box having every club there, and then they'll post the video and you won't even be in it because they won't even speak about Villa. I think we've got one more question before the final one. Underrated moment. Did you think of anything to come back to it at the end? There was a comment, so that's why I brought it up. David Starr said Ramsey's first goal against Arsenal for underrated moment of the season.
Yeah,
maybe like the springboard for Ramsey's.
It's a good shot, actually. It was a very, very good goal. But I just think we were 3-0 down at the time, I think. I think a lot of the away end had gone, but the people that were there, it was a top quality goal right into the top corner. So it's nice for him to get off the mark in style there. But yeah, not really much else to be fair. I think his goal against Norwich, but I wouldn't say that was very much underrated. I think when he signed the contract, there was a lot of hype and talk around that being his best goal, etc. And that was good fun to see how much he loved that as well. You could see the passion there, so probably go with that one.
Final question was from Villa Home and Away, your alternative account, I assume. Do you think Villa fans will be as bored with Wembley visits and midweek Champions League games like Man City if they were in the same position years on?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, we've got to get there, which would be a start. I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, I'd snap your hand off to go to a Thursday night game against Sparta Prague. It'd just be fantastic because I've never seen anything like that in terms of a European game, and the Wembley days are just special. Any Villa fans who are at the playoff final, even though we lost the Carabao Cup final, it's just a fantastic day out, and I don't think it would ever get old. Not with me, but yeah, they're the best days of the season. I think the Wembley days out, and then the European pre-season games as well. It's just that that family feel. Everyone's there together, having a good time, and they're the best days.
And then you're playing football to compete in competition. So if you end up reaching the end of a competition and going to a final, I don't care how many times you win it. I just don't see how that would ever get boring. But you see, I remember the 2010 one, the Carling Cup final with Man United, when we left the stadium 5-10 minutes after full time or whatever as the losing side, and you're walking outside the stadium and there's Man United fans everywhere. It's like
it was the same with the Carabao.
You haven't even been handed Man City the same. You've not even handed the trophy yet, and you're already left. So I can't compute what that must be like. So yeah, Villa fans, I can't imagine that ever being the case. That's all the questions that we've had submitted from fans before this podcast. Here's a question from Adam Wright just to end. Lingard available for a free in the summer, yes or no?
For free? I love a freebie. Wages probably quite big. Realistically, no. I think there's more positions that probably take your priority that we've already discussed, but probably not.
Yeah, if you sign Coutinho and you've still got Buendia, Lingard doesn't play anyway, so not for me. Max, thank you very much for your time and appearing on the Claret Blue podcast. We do appreciate it.
Appreciate it as well, mate. Nice one. Really enjoyed it.
We'll be back then on Saturday. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.